guys, crafts&dolls here, and today I'm going to show you how to make a demi lovato chibi from polymer clay. I actually made one as one of my first chibis, but she got broken and I had to throw her away, so now I'm remaking it. The demi lovato I'm going to make is have pink DIY hair color in the tips of her hair, also a black dress and a denim jacket. And I'll probably put a picture of it right here, probably, if I know how to make it. Anyway, the things you will need are a light blue polymer clay, 10 polymer clay, yellow polymer clay, and black polymer clay. You will also need tools, and a razor blade is like highly recommended, but the other tools are optional. You don't have them. You don't have to take them. You will also need some soft chalk pastels, and mine are from Reeves. There are 24 shades. Basically, you can also buy the 12 shades. That's completely enough. But I wanted to have like plenty of colors because I'll also use it for customization in the future. So yeah, those are my chalk pastels. See. Then you will also need an eye pin and a wire cutter to cut it to the right size. You will need deco gel, like Fimo deco gel, but this is also optional. It's just to make sure that things won't fall off after you put it in the oven. Then you will also need black, white and light pink acrylic paints. Mine are Martha Stewart crafts. And you can also get brown acrylic paint for your eyes, but I didn't have any. You will also need some glaze. Yeah, mine is from Sculpting. I think I think I ran out of glaze, so I might not glaze it, but it is very recommended to use glaze. So let's begin. I'm gonna start off with her body. Okay, so because the dress is black, so the entire body will actually be black. Now you take a piece of polymer clay, and the amount of polymer clay depends on the size you want your chibi to be. The more polymer clay you use, the larger the chibi is. So I always take a bit more than what I need in case I'll have to trim some edges. So there it is. I kneaded all the polymer clay before I started the video, so I don't have problems with that. You have to knead it until it is quite soft, so it'll be easier to work with. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on my table. And by the way, this is a cutting mat. It's not my actual table. This is a cutting mat, like where you cut things with your Japanese knife. So I'm gonna roll it into a cylinder. Now I'm gonna use my blade. And this is, by the way, this is not a razor blade. This is a blade I took out of a Japanese knife. So yeah, that's just what I use. It's kind of comfortable. So I trimmed both ends flat. So I come out with this. This is already starting to remind you of a chibi body, but it doesn't have enough shape. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stand it on my mat, and I'll tighten it and give it more shape to be thinner in the middle and thicker at the top and the bottom. You can see it kind of reminds you of a dress shape, something like that. And you just shape it the way you want. I think this is enough for me. And I make the upper part a bit thinner than I want it to be, because I'm gonna have the denim jacket as well, so that's gonna add thickness. And yeah, this is pretty much what you need for the body. Of course, if you want to make a chibi with like a skirt and a shirt in different colors, then you can make a half like in blue and a half in pink. You know, this is your place to be creative. Okay, so I'm gonna set my body aside. Now, the very important thing you need to know if you use polymer clay is to clean your hands very well between every color you use. Like if I used black, then I will clean my hand from all the black stains, and I also clean my mat. And then I move to the other color, because otherwise it will be full of stains from the previous color. So you see now my hands are clean. Yeah. And the next thing I want to do is I want to make the jacket. So I have here my light blue color. This is a pre-made one from Fimo, but you can also just mix in white and dark blue. Just, you know, you want to reach sort of this color. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to flatten it in my pasta machine. She's right there. You can't see it, but she's there. And I'm going to flat it in about number 7. And in case you don't have a pasta machine or don't know its measures, however you say it, like if you don't know the sizes for the pasta machine, then, you know, just roll it quite thin. Wait, I'm gonna roll it on my number 7 in the pasta machine. So there, you can see it's very thin. See, very thin. And the pasta machine is quite cheap and is very easy to use and gives great results. So I would really recommend you guys to get a pasta machine. Now I'm taking my blue, I'm laying it on my mat, and I want to trim it to be a rectangular shape, something like that. Yeah, and I make it very long and quite thin. See? I'm gonna show it to you guys. Yeah. Now I wanna see if it's the same size I want. The denim jacket reaches sort of about her waist, so I actually made it in a quite good size. I swear I didn't plan this. So now I put my body aside once again. I lay this down, and I want to trim it a bit more because it's quite long, and then cut off the lower corners of the rectangle, and also the upper corners, but a bit less of them, like so. So I come out with this. Now I use this to clean all the small pieces, just to make sure there's no dirt. Then I take my body and the denim jacket, and I lay the body at the exact middle of the jacket. Oh, and I just noticed I made my jacket too long. So yeah, it is completely fine to make it too long or even too short, because you can always restart. I mean, yeah, this is all about trying and making mistakes, trial and error. So yeah, I made it shorter. Now I'm gonna take my body and try once again. Yeah, and there's my denim jacket. You can see it looks quite cute. Yeah, from the back as well. And yeah, but I want to add it a bit more detail, like to make it look more realistic, because you know all the real clothes have a lot of details. So yeah, the first thing I'm gonna do is I have a bit of excess, so I'm gonna trim it off. Just yeah. And now I'm gonna take that same blue, like the leftover blue. See, leftover blue, and I'm gonna roll it on 9, which is the thinnest size you have on a pasta machine. It is like extremely thin, very, very thin, something somewhat like a paper, something like that. Then I'm gonna smash one part of it with my fingers to be even thinner. See? Then I cut out that spot where I pressed my fingers and it's thinner than the 9. Yeah, I'm cutting it out into a very, very thin strip, like so. I'm smashing it a bit more with my fingers, like you want to make it as thin as possible, and also stretching it a bit. There you go. I have my teeny tiny strip. Then I am lining up the jacket there, like so, and then I have a collar for my jacket. There you go. So now basically the body is done. You can add all kind of decorations if you want. You can add like flowers or dots, like, again, this is all freehand and creativity. Do whatever you want. Then I once again clean my hands, and this time I clean them even more because I'm going to work with a very light color. Like I'm going to work with the tan now, so it is very important to clean my hands a lot. Then I'm cleaning my mat as well, like so. There, all clean. Now I take my tan, and this is obviously quite too big for the chibi, so I'm taking off a piece. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it off, and the tan tends to get very dirty, so I usually try to knead it and roll it and play with it as little as possible, because that leaves all kind of black dirt on the tan, on the polymer clay, and yeah, that's not very pretty. So there you go. Now what I usually do is I try to find the cleanest spot on the polymer clay ball. Yeah, I roll it on a ball as well. So I try to find the cleanest spot. There, that's my cleanest spot. Try to take off all the dirt completely. Then, oh, there it is. Kind of lost it for a second. Now I just want to see if it fits. Like, yeah, that fits great. Now I'm taking it off and I'm laying it like that. There you go. Just laying it so that the spot that will be on the body, attached to the body, is facing the floor right now. And yeah, I just noticed my body is a bit too long, so I'm going to cut off a bit from the bottom. There you go. Then just making sure it didn't lost its shape. Yep, completely fine. There you go. You can see that it looks better now, like in my opinion anyway. I'm gonna give it a bit more shape. Yeah. And there you go. So I'm done with the head and with the body. Now let's make the hair. So I have my yellow color, and I'm putting it on my pasta machine over there on the setting of 7, just like the denim jacket, and try to make it longer rather than being thicker. So, you know, there you're gonna come out with something like this. So yeah, just gonna give it a few more fixings. So there you go. And you have to make sure that that your head can fit inside with excess. Okay, like that. Now I'm laying it down like so, and I take my head, and I put it on there as well, like so. Yeah. Now I'm gonna cut it, I'm gonna trim it like so, so that the sides are more sharp. And I'm also gonna trim the bottom to reach about a bit before the end of the denim jacket. And it usually stretches while you put it on, so it always comes out a bit longer. So yeah, it's gonna come out just fine. Now I put the excess aside. I scrape out my hair, and I just there. And now I'm gonna put it on. So I'm putting the head where I planned it to be when I cut it out all the excess hair, and then I'm just tightening the hair on, like, yeah, I don't really know how to explain it, but you're basically tightening everything as much as possible, and then cut out this weird excess on her head. Yeah, because this excess is very weird. It's like, yeah, you cut it out, and then I use this tool to make it look smoother, to smooth it out. I also use my fingers a bit, and there you go. So that's the basic, like, yeah, that's the basic, but there's still more to it. Like, now I want to add her bangs and as well as her DIY pink hair on the tips. So yeah, let's do this. I take the leftover yellow polymer clay and I roll it again, setting of 7, to be very long and quite thin, like that. Then I cut out a long stripe. Oops, there, took it out. I cut out a long stripe, like I make it as long as possible, and there, like that. Then I cut it in half and I attach it onto my little demi lovato. And that gives a prettier line, like, yeah, a nicer lining to the hair. You see, ugly, pretty. Oh, and I try to give it triangular ends, like at one end, it will be kind of spiky. Like so. So yeah. And after I done that, I'm going to make her bangs. So she had, like, she didn't have straight bangs, but it was like almost straight bangs, I think. Anyway, I'm gonna make her with straight bangs because I think that's the cutest. So again, I'm rolling the leftover yellow on the setting of 7, and I am laying it. Then I cut a rectangular shape. Okay, like so. And I make sure, and then I just cut it to be on at the length of her head, like so. Then let's put it here. And then I give it small cuts in different lengths. There. See, it has cuts on it. Then I take my bangs and I just put them on her, like attach them on, like so. There you go. And then again smooth everything down. Yeah. I'm gonna separate her bangs a bit because it's gonna that looks better. And here that just came off, so I'm gonna cut out a small rectangle like so. There, I cut out a small rectangle and I'm gonna place it here to complete the bangs, so she won't have like a bald part and stuff. That doesn't really look good. And yeah, so basically the hair is done. But if you remember the picture from the beginning, she have pink DIY hair tips. So I'm gonna do that now. And how we are going to do that, you ask? Well, the answer is simple. Chalk pastels. We are going to use the pink chalk pastel. This one here, it is pink. Then I'm just going to scrape a bit of pink. There, I have some pink chalk in there. And now I'm gonna take a brush. There. You can also use your fingers, but that makes your fingers very dirty, so I don't use my fingers. I dip it onto the chalk pastel, scrape, and then I brush it on the tips of her hair. So easy, so pretty. This is after just a few touches, and you just keep on doing that. Unfortunately, it can't come out completely pink, since pink over yellow always comes out kind of orangish, also when you use it in markers. So like, yeah, that just, that's good enough, I guess. It comes out very cute, even though it's not completely pink. Then do it on the back side as well. Brushing pink chalk pastels. That's so fun. So there. Yeah, I think it came out cute, I guess. Yeah. Then what I want to do is, first of all, I'm gonna clean my mat because it's full of chalk pastel. Then I take my Fimo Deco Gel. I put a dab of Fimo Deco Gel on the bottom of her head, like where she's supposed to be attached to the body. And then I attach the body on. Yeah. And as you see, even though I cut it in the size of the denim jacket, the hair came out actually as long as her entire body. That's just what I said. So even though if you want to make a very long hair, make it like half shorter than you actually want it to be, because eventually it's gonna come come out very long. Yeah, so I'm gonna cut out a bit of the excess because this is really far too long. She can't stand because of it. Yeah, I'm just gonna trim off the excess like so. Yeah, there. And then just take my brush and add a bit more of the chalk pastel like so. Okay, so yeah. Oh, and here I don't have enough. I'm gonna put it on. Okay, so you are now done basically. And if you want it to be a charm, like I do, then, oh, if you want your chibi to be a charm, like I do, you take a knife in, or you can make one with wire, with thin wire. What you do is actually, you cut it a bit shorter than your chibi is. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it like so. And be careful, it's probably gonna fly. Oh, maybe it didn't. Okay, so I have here my eye pen. Then I take my Fimo Deco Gel and I put a nice coat of it on it. This is just to secure the eye pen won't fall off. Once I didn't put it on my Hatsune Miku chibi and the eye pen fell off, so I had to super glue it in place. Anyway, this is just, you know, to be sure it won't fall off. Then I take my chibi and I stick it in the very middle of her head and down. There you go. It has like this dab of Fimo Deco Gel right now. So I'm gonna take my tool, you can also use a toothpick, and I'm just gonna spread it a bit around. So yeah, and now we just wanna bake her. So I'm gonna put mine in the oven and I'll be right back. So my Demi Lovato chibi just came out of the oven. It is hard as plastic, and I let her cool for like 10 minutes. And yeah, so basically we're done, but she's kind of faceless right now. See, faceless. So we are going to draw on her eyes and blush using black acrylic paint, white acrylic paint, and pink acrylic paint for blush. You will also need a tool to draw the eyes with. I usually use a toothpick or this, like it's like a toothpick but from plastic. So yeah, there is my toothpick, and I have my 3 colors in here and my Demi Lovato. So I want to start off with the black, which is the base of the eyes. So I take the black color and the toothpick. See? I dip the toothpick a bit inside of the black color so that only the tip is colored with black. See? There. Now I wanna take my chibi and make 2 dots where I want eyes to be, like so. So they're kind of small right now and uncute, so I just dip it into more color and extend the eyes bigger. And you can add lashes if you want, but I think it's cuter without lashes, so I don't draw lashes. So there I drew on her two big eyes, and now I'm going to use the other side for the blush. No. Okay, you're also supposed to add a white dot on the eyes, but I want to let them dry first. So now I use the pink for the blush. Okay, there. I dip it again. See, pink. Yeah, and I draw two, and I make two big ovals underneath each eye, like one oval underneath each eye, and it comes out as two ovals. There you go. It's already starting to be cute. And now the eyes are more dried, so we can add the white highlight. I take another toothpick and dip it onto the white acrylic paint, like so. Then I make a small dot at the corner of each eye. Let it dry and you're done. And yeah, there you go. So yeah, you're done. And while she was in the oven, I checked out my glaze bottle, and it completely ran out. So I'll buy some more glaze and glaze her later, because the glaze gives it a very pretty finish. I'm gonna show you another chibi I made. There you see, she have glaze on it and she doesn't. You can tell that this one looks much better. Yeah, so I highly recommend to put glaze on her. I'll put some glaze on mine later on. And this video is especially made for hila namerchuk lovato. Hila namerchuk lovato, this is for you. So I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you next time.